Hey, all you comic book readers and true believers, it's Tuesday, and I'm your ever-loving blue-eyed comic book guy, Mitch Harmon. You guys know what's up. Mitch's Picks. From Dark Horse Comics, Astro Hustle, #1, written by Jai Nitz, art done by Tom Riley. Chin Andalou, his father was a great humanitarian for all the galaxies, and he was trying to follow in his father's footsteps. But then he was accidentally, at least that's what it says in the book, cryo-frozen for 60 years. And when Chin wakes up after that 60-year sleep, a lot of things have changed. There's no longer this humanitarian effort going on across the galaxy, and there seems to be a very almost bourgeois system being kind of put into place. This is a new series coming out of Dark Horse Comics. It's kind of a Victorian fantasy mixed with sci-fi. You got space pirates and all this crazy stuff going on. It looks cool. It's supposed to be kind of, the guy almost feels a very much of a Han Solo-esque type of character, but anything from Dark Horse, I'm at least going to give it a little bit of a chance, guys. So I recommend you do the same. Check it out. From Marvel Comics, Star Wars, Dark Visions, #1, written by Dennis Hopeless, art done by Paolo Villanelli. This is a new miniseries coming out for the Star Wars franchise. It's a 5-issue miniseries, and it's going to be revolving around Darth Vader. What better person to have a miniseries based off of? But it's not your typical miniseries. Each one's going to kind of be a different story featuring Darth Vader, but we all know Darth Vader to be this kind of dark and evil Sith Lord. But there are some reaches of the galaxy that are so full of despair that Darth Vader may actually look like a knight in shining armor to them. And then there may be other stories to come that may not paint Darth Vader in such a positive light. But who knows? In this issue is a kind of a brand new story, a brand new take on the Darth Vader persona, I guess you could say. But like I said, it is going to be a mini-series coming out from Marvel Comics, 5 issues. Each one, I believe, is written by Dennis Hopeless, and I think also Villanelli is going to be doing all the art on this one. But if you're a fan of the Star Wars lore and looking to kind of get a little bit more for Darth Vader, I highly recommend this one, guys. Check it out. From Boom Studios, Ronan Island, #1, written by Greg Pak, art done by Giannis Milano Giannis. This is a new series out of Boom Studios. Ronan Island is basically a place that took place after the Great Wind, which I'm not sure if that's a real historical Japanese thing or not. But basically this great war that swept across the 3 great lands of Asia, China, Japan, and Thailand, or I'm sorry, Korea, left a lot of people orphaned. And this one particular island, Kyushu, I believe is what it's called, is kind of a refugee for all these people that were left after this great war. And the book seems to revolve around Kenichi and Hana. Kenichi, from a Japanese family, very honorable, has a deep history in it. And Hana, who's a Korean orphan who is just trying to get by, I guess. But both of them are in this almost like a boarding school for samurais, I guess you could say. And kind of act as rivals, you know, to opposite ends. One's from the old Japanese way, and one's from the new Korean kind of way of being a samurai, I guess you could say. But their celebration, or their tournament, I guess you could say, is kind of cut short by an invading samurais who say they represent the shogun, say that they're here to try to protect as long as they swear fealty and pay homage and all this stuff to the new shogun. But they don't really have, you know, the islanders don't really want to be a part of this. That is until they see these on the horizon, these almost zombie-like characters coming out. Not really sure who they are, but it seems like for this time being, these new samurais and these Ronins are going to join together and fight against this new threat. This is a new series coming out from Boom Studios. Greg Pak, he wrote one of my favorite Hulk stories, the Planet Hulk and the World War Hulk series. But for #1, I'm really into it. Plus, I'm a bit of a fan of anything that's samurai related, so I'm highly going to recommend this, guys. Check it out. From Marvel Comics, Cosmic Ghost Rider Destroys Marvel History, #1, written by Paul Scheer and Nick Giovannetti, art done by Gerardo Sandoval. This kind of picks up last where the Cosmic Ghost Rider miniseries took place. For those of you that were not reading that, basically all the events that happened in the Cosmic Ghost Rider's life, he feels that maybe if he goes back and fixes Thanos, he can actually fix everything, which then he just ends up making Thanos much worse into the future. So he goes back, plants him in there, but somehow he cannot get back to his normal timeline. So Frank Castle is just having to live through all of his life once again. And this book takes place the day before his family is killed by the mobsters in Central Park. Frank, thinking that maybe he can rewrite his own history if he saves his family this one time, things can be better for him possibly. And then when he finally gets the guts to go up to his house, knock on the door, his wife answers the door. She kind of recognizes him, but he plays it off cool, saying it's like a relative or whatever. But she has to leave, and he ends up watching his son, Francis, little Francis, in which case little Francis then asks for the Uncle Frito to tell him all about the Marvel history, in which case Frank Castle does a very poor job of retelling the Marvel history. Basically, it's poor because he injects himself into every single major event, at least for the Fantastic Four, which is this #1. Looks like it's kind of retelling a lot of the Fantastic Four history, placed in the Cosmic Ghost Rider into all of this. I believe the next one's going to revolve around Spider-Man, so I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be each issue going to be a new one, but it looks pretty interesting. Also, I'm not really sure if Frank Castle actually is going to be able to change time or history, I guess you could say, because, you know, the Watcher, he's always watching, never interfering until it's suits him best, I guess. So he's trying to stop Frank Castle from changing the space-time continuum and all that crazy stuff. This is a new miniseries. Like I said, I'm not really sure where it falls, because right now Cosmic Ghost Rider is in the Guardians of the Galaxy, but this does take place right after the Cosmic Ghost Rider miniseries. So if you're looking to get more out of that type of story, I highly recommend picking this up, everybody. Check it out. From Dark Horse Comics, Umbrella Academy, paperback volume 1, written by Gerard Way, art done by Gabriel Ba. A little late getting the copies in, but we finally have some copies of Umbrella Academy for all those that have been watching the show and looking to try to get the original stuff. We do have it in now. We have volumes 1 and 2. Volume 1, though, is Apocalypse Suite. I believe volume 2 is called Dallas. It is a little different than the show, but it is pretty much the same thing. 43 women get pregnant. They wake up not pregnant. By the end of the day, they all have a baby. And out of these 43 women, Reginald Hargreaves is able to go and purchase, that's right, he bought them, 7 children, each one with a different power, and he tries to raise them under his Umbrella Academy to help stop the world from ending, and so on and so forth. Like I said, there are some slight differences in this show, which is why it's a good idea to read it, but there is a lot of, the conclusion pretty much seems pretty much the same. Plus, there's also the ongoing Umbrella Academy that's going on right now called Hotel Oblivion. I believe the paperback's coming out for it sometime this month. But like I said, if you're looking to get onto this stuff, get a little deeper into the Umbrella Academy lore, I recommend picking this up, guys. Check it out. Don't forget, this Saturday, we're going to have a Smash Brothers tournament. It's going to start at 1 o'clock. It's $5 to enter. You guys can go ahead and come in and pre-order if you want to, or sign up if you want to, or you guys can just go ahead and come in on Saturday. If we still have spots, you guys can totally jump on then, guys. But it's going to be a lot of fun. There's always a nice turnout for that. Plus, there's going to be cash prizes as well. So definitely want to come by and check it out, guys. That's all my picks for this week, everyone. Keep reading your comics, true believers. See you guys next week.